and welcome to the Spring 2025 Virtual Fabric Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Stephanie Sheridan, and I will be your host today. A few things before we get started. The collections you see here today are from our winter and spring releases. Some of them will be coming to quilt shops very soon. Others you might have to wait a little while, but we wanted to show you a great preview of what's to come from Benartex. During the presentations, you'll find a Q&A box down at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free to put any questions you have for the panelists or Benartex in that Q&A box, and we will answer them at the end of the designer presentations. And to remind you all to visit our website, benartex.com, which is where you can see even more of these fabrics and patterns and all sorts of great things on our website. And a little reminder, Jeremy, I'm going to take this from you. Make sure you ask for these fabrics in your local quilt shops. Where's the line, Jeremy?
We never sell to Walmart. We never sell to Hobby Lobby. We never sell to Michael's, only at your independent quilt shops and machine dealers.
So when you ask for these in your local quilt shops, they can order these fabrics through their sales reps, online on our website, or through their favorite distributor. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy, our national sales manager, for a few quick hello and tell us what you think.
Well, if we're going to tell you what you think, you're going to be here all afternoon. I think it's terrific. Hey, welcome to Benartex 2025, our spring release and winter release. We're glad to have you with us. I'm looking down the side of our screen and I can see people from Salzburg, Austria. Welcome. And it's a very international show today. Obviously, I'm not from around these parts, but we have somebody from Holland joining us today. You probably already know Irene from Sugaridoo. Kimberly Einmo will be joining us later, and she's obviously been living in Australia for some time. Now she's back in the States. We've got a Canadian joining us, Laura, who's a new designer with Benartex, Laura Coy, who many of you know from her very, very prolific online presence. Even got somebody from almost my hometown in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Pipersville. So welcome, Andi. So we've got lots of other designers from around the country, as you would expect, but it's certainly another international show. We'll be showing you everything from cats to bugs to insects like butterflies. We've got weeds, dandelions.
Dandelions.
Wish flowers, which are one of the new lines actually from Rachel Rossi, who's also from Pennsylvania, Lancaster County. We've also got lots and lots of wonderful new florals. We've got the new April Cornell, which is a major license for us now, as well as Shelley, Cavanna, and various others who are always well known for their floral lines. So we've also got several new basics. And something that's a little different about Benartex fabrics is all of our designers typically will use existing basics that are already in your independent quilt shop. So we're not like some of those other companies that like to do one and done, and then they make you buy these obscure colors of weird blenders and solids. Many of our things work together. They work from year to year. We have a 30% Pantone carryover, so that helps you use some of your stash as well as some of the new fabrics from our designers that we're about to show you. And as Stephanie rightly said, of course, we're only available in independently owned and operated fabric shops, machine dealers, and independent online resellers. And those are community centers for our hobby. So I'm a quilter too. I support my local stores, as I hope you do, because we need them. They've got selection, they've got skills, and they have service, and we all need service. So welcome again to Benartex 2025 spring and winter releases. Have some fun, ask some questions, chip in with all your ideas, and give us some thumbs up. So thank you very much in advance for your business, and we look forward to seeing you in your independent stores soon.
Great, thanks, Jeremy. And now it's time to start our show.
Yay.
We're going to start this session with designer Irene from Sugaridoo with her Lucky Bugs collection. The bright, nature-inspired palette and cheerful bug illustrations bring playful charm to any project. First, we're going to take a quick peek at the fabrics, and then Irene will tell you all about them.
Let's see. Yes, my mic is on right now, right?
We can
Yes,
hear
there we
you.
go. Thank you so much for the presentation. It already gave such a wonderful view of the collection. So, hi, my name is Irene, and I'm super excited to be presenting today my third fabric line, Lucky Buck. And I'm really happy with everything you showed already. It's really like the bright and happy feeling of the fabric line. I think that showed already really well in that presentation. I also have a presentation made up, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see, there we go. Share it. Does that work? I think that works, right? Yes. Lucky Buck. So this is the collection that I want to share with you today. But first, let me introduce you to myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Irene. I'm from the Netherlands, and I am a quilt pattern and fabric designer. And I already did 2 previous collections with Benartex, so this will be my third line, and it's super exciting and fun to be doing this again. So here you see well, a little cat friend. If you ever saw one of my YouTube videos, mostly in the lives, he will pop up. That is Jimi Hendrix. And there's me and my husband and 2 kids. We live in the north of the Netherlands. There's a lot of water, so in the summer we love to go out on the water. And there in the top corner, you see my studio. So this is a Sugaridoo studio, and that is in our backyard and where I do all my work and my designing. It's just a dream space to work in, and I really love it. So what do I do there? Well, I started with foundation paper piecing. That made me fall in love with quilting. I do YouTube videos. I wrote a book, Happy Notes, which goes really well with my second collection, Happy Notes, that is still in stores. So this will be my third fabric line. I did a few big quilt alongs with Bernina, where a lot of people got to know me. And I run an advent calendar. And so yeah, that is what I do besides from designing fabrics. And if you want to look me up, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook by searching for @Sugaridoo. So yeah, Lucky Buck. So Lucky Buck is a new collection, a bright, happy, fresh collection with 22 SKUs. So here in this image you see 20, and there are 2 dot fabrics that also belong to this one. So Lucky Buck came to be by a old sketch that I had in a notebook. So whenever I feel like it, I doodle. And that page was filled with all kinds of little bugs and butterflies and insects. And I thought they were really cute. So I opted that idea to make a collection out of it. And I could already see that it was going to be something really fun. So I am really thrilled with how it turned out. I wanted fresh colors, but also that color pop. So that is the orange in there. And you have the softer blues and some teal turquoise colors in there as well. Yeah, so let me introduce you to the fabrics. Let's start with one of my favorites, and this is Bucket of Bugs. And these fabrics have all kinds of little bugs, and I could really play with all the details. So drawing in tiny little hearts on the antennae, and well, a lot of cute things in there. Then we have Polka Dot, and this is just a bigger polka dot with some bugs on there. And I like that it has some subtle pops of color in there as well. Then we have Lady Lucky Buck. These are a little bit smaller print, and especially the white with gray print works really well for a fresh background in quilts. Then we have Ant Mazing. And this print was made just like a word joke, but it's kind of like a maze, all the lines, but there are tiny little ants hidden in a maze. So that's why I called it ant mazing. Then we have Get Your Bugs in a Row, which is kind of a directional fabric, but not really. When you zoom out, you see like the clusters of bugs in there, the dragonflies, and you do kind of see a grid, but well, it's like a messy grid, and I think it's really, really lovely. And this also is really cool for a backing of your quilt. Then we have a few basics with this collection. So there is a dot dot fabric, and the dot dot fabric was also in my Happy Notes fabric line. And that is a white fabric with turquoise and green dots on there. And there's also a white fabric with more the yellow orange dots on there. And those are also available with this collection. So that is additional to these tone-on-tone dots. And I think these blenders work really well with the fabrics because some of the prints are a little bit more busy, and these will tone them down and help you blend them in your products really well. So let's talk about projects. I designed 3 quilts with these fabrics, and all the quilt patterns are available for free. So when you have this fabric in your store, you can redirect your customers to sugaridoo.com/patterns, and there they can just download the PDF, or you can download the PDF yourself and then add it to print it and add it to the kits or the fabric. So yeah, this is the first one. It's called Around the Corner. And if you participated in the last Sugaridoo Bonina Quilt Along, then you might recognize this block. So I reused it and built this cool quilt with it. So what I like about it is that you have like the curved piecing, but that the stripes, the sashing you add inside the curved blocks, you get that little square illusion. So yeah, I think that's kind of fun, and you can really play around with this design. So when you make those circle blocks, which are 12 by 12 inch, then you can just play around with the layout of the quilt and make different designs and put it together the way you like it. So this quilt is 48 by 60 inches. And here are some details of it. And here you can also see that I used that bug fabric on the back of the quilt, which I think is a really fun, back of the quilt, because then instead of using a solid or a blender fabric, it's really interesting as well on the back. So yeah, and you see the Octoot fabric on the sashing, so that also works really well. Then the second one I want to share with you is Bugs Galore, and this is a foundation paper piecing quilt. And the blocks measure 10 by 10, and I made the quilt in 50 by 50 inches, but with 10 by 10, of course, you can play around as much as you like with it and make it as in the size that you want. So here we have the bugs, and we have a kind of a basic block. And the reason I did that was that I thought that would be really cool to play around with hand quilting or machine quilting. And here you see the quilting on top of the insects, and also the backing where I used the polka dot. And here you see the insect, so a dragonfly quilted in there. And these quilting files will also be available with the quilting patterns. So then the final one, and that is also the one that we're going to do a quilt along with at the end of the year. That is Octoot, and this is a 38 by 49 inch quilt. And during the quilt along, there will be a bigger size and a smaller size as well. And this one is 5 by 5 inch friendly, so that's really nice. So you can use 5 by 5 inch packs that also come with this collection to make it. And here you can see on the left side and the right side as well that this quilt might look a little bit difficult, but actually it's 5 by 5s that you snowball and then you put it on point and make some sashing. And during the quilt along that I'm going to host in November, starting November, I will share all about how we're going to make this. This is the mini version of that quilt, which is 20 by 20 inches. So the Octoot quilt along starts in around November this year, and we will do it for 6 weeks, where we will prepare the blocks and the fabrics, and then we will sew the blocks, and depending on the size of the quilt, that depends on how much work you have to do every week. So if you want to have an easy paced quilt along, then you just make the 20 by 20 inch, and if you want a really busy quilt along, then you make the big one. And the quilt along consists of blog posts and emails from my side. And if you're interested as a quilt shop to Quilt Along, they can sign up through sugaridoo.com/wholesale, and then you will get all my wholesale information. So what information to expect? Well, there will be 3 sizes of the quilt, and all the patterns for that and instructions will be shared also through my wholesale list. I will share the Quilt Along schedule ahead of time, and also promotional content. So pretty pictures of the quilts and of details that you can just use on your Instagram, easy peasy, so that you don't have to make the quilt ahead of time. You can just use my images and my promotional content for your promotion in your shop and on your Instagram as well, and your newsletter and your Facebook. And if you are selling kits or my fabrics, just let me know, then I can list you as a shop for the promotional content that I'm sending through email to my email list, so that people know where to find the fabrics and where to find you. Yeah, so all that information will follow after the 1st of June, and also the patterns will come up on sugaridoo.com/patterns from beginning of June. So that is Lucky Bug, my 3rd collection. Thank you so much. And yeah, here are the links again: sugaridoo.com/wholesale and sugaridoo.com/patterns for all the free patterns that go with this collection, and also with the Happy Notes fabric collection. That's it, Stephanie. So back to you.
Okay, can you stop your screen share for me?
Yes.
Perfect. There we go. All right, thank you so much for your presentation about Lucky Bugs. It's so cute. I have 2 grandsons, and I think I may be making some buggy quilts for them.
I think they will love that.
So moving on, designer Andi Metz has 2 fun collections to share with you today. Perfect Brew is a great way to start your day, and Enchanted Spring celebrates all of Andi's favorite things about the spring season, both with fun and whimsical details. First, we're going to share a short video about Enchanted Spring, and then Andi will tell us about the collections, and then we'll see Perfect Brew at the end. Hi, Andi.
Hi, Stephanie. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm really excited to share my newest collections. I think I was, after the winter we had here in Pennsylvania, and it was so cold, when I got the spring fabric, I just went crazy with it. I love the colors. They're soft and they're sweet, and you can make so much with it. I wanted to show you what I made with it today. And I wanted to share with you my favorite fabrics from the collection. And I have 3. One is this beautiful and sweet blue. It has flowers and bees and butterflies. This is my dogwood tree that's in the backyard. And I know, if you know me, I usually like to include something from my world or my family. So a lot of the bees, my neighbor has bees, and she makes honey. So I included bees and the honeycomb in the Enchanted Spring fabric. So I was very inspired. I don't know if you can see it, but I made this skirt out of the fabric. And I made this wraparound shirt out of my favorite fabric in the collection. I didn't think that the shirt and the skirt matched, so I didn't wear them together. I did make a lot of quilts. This is actually the free quilt for Enchanted Forest, which was my fall collection that came out, I think, in January. So my sister actually threw this together for me. And if you want to see, my sister does a lot of sewing for me, and I'm so very thankful for it. She's on Instagram at Daisy Quilt and Craft. So if you ever want to see some projects made with my fabrics, you can look for her there. I'm Andi's Easel, and she usually shares this stuff there. Out of the panel, she made this cute little wall hanging. And she made pillows. And she sewed the chenille around the edge. This is the spring trellis quilt. And I thought it turned out really cute. It's on the smaller side, so it's more of a lap quilt. And then my sister made this quilt that shows all the fabrics in the collection. And I think many of you know my mother is also getting into the sewing. So she made some men's ties with the two of the fabrics. I know Jeremy modeled this one for me at H&H. I think he really liked modeling it for me. This is the spring fling bag that you saw. And I just thought it was perfect for spring. I did make it as I was trying to test my sample, I made it in the Enchanted Forest collection fabric and the Perfect Brew collection. Now I'm having trouble because I made some cookies this morning. I've made these cozies for your Pyrex dishes. I have a 13x9 and an 8x8 and some delicious chocolate cookies in there. So I hope I don't start nibbling on them. And these little baskets I like to do when I entertain, and I like they're place markers for people. So I put something special in for the person at the table and have their name on it so they know where they're sitting. And I thought this would be really cute on the table together. And the last thing that I made for this collection is a little garden bag. I want to put the Octoot on it, but this was my sample bag, so I haven't done it. But this is supposed to make it waterproof. And then you can keep your seeds and your tools to go out in the garden. And these patterns will be available on my website probably in the next few weeks. So I think that is it for the Enchanted Spring. But I have the Perfect Brew of fabrics if you like coffee. The one thing in the Perfect Brew collection that I thought was so neat was there's an apron pattern or an apron panel, and the fabric in the panel is a little bit heavier and it's very soft. So all you have to do is cut out the strips to put around your neck and to tie it. And you can be the barista when you have a party. And with the Perfect Brew collection, they did 5 colorways of my latte art. And I was really excited about that because I think it makes a nice addition to your quilts or your projects. Now, I'm not the coffee drinker. My husband is the coffee drinker, and he has an antique grinder that he grinds every morning. I think it's 120 turns that he does to make his cup of coffee. I don't drink the coffee, but what I really love is the chocolate covered coffee beans. I didn't realize what the caffeine would do to me because I don't really drink it. So the first time I had chocolate covered coffee beans, I had about 15 of them. And then I started whirling around the house and the whole house was perfectly clean, which doesn't usually happen. So I try to stay away from too many of the coffee beans. With the Perfect Brew, I have a neat stripe. And the stripe, my mom used her Dunroven tea towels and made nice little hostess gifts for people. And this is part of the panel. And with that, the panel also has boxes. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the free quilt for the collection, and it shows all of the fabrics, and then it has the little boxes in here with cute little sayings, like words cannot expresso how much you mean to me. I must have been tired when I was working on that one. And this is a quilt my sister made with the fabric. And I thought that really turned out fun, bright and fun. So those are the things that I made with the fabric. And I just feel like with the, you can do so many things. And I love making quilts. My sister loves making quilts, and I'm learning how to long arm. So we're having a lot of fun with that. But I like making these little things that I can take with me. And it reminds me of the fabric that I love so much.
Thanks, Andi. So I actually have one of the panels for the apron. So I'm going to show that now so everyone can see what the panel looks like when you get it.
Okay.
So here's what the panel looks like. And then you put it together and it looks like what Andi's wearing. And it has the instructions and everything right at the bottom on how to make it.
It was super quick and easy.
I bet. Yeah, it looks, I was reading the instructions. I'm like, oh yeah, I could make one of those. And I could wear that while I make my morning coffee.
And I love that it has the latte art at the bottom.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite prints in the line.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Andi, for showing us those collections. We're actually going to take a short break now, and we're going to put a little poll up on our screen. For those of you who are attending live on Zoom, oh, sorry, I forgot. Perfect Brew. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot that we were going to share that video with you. So now we're going to take a short break and put a poll question up for all of you that are attending live here on Zoom. Please take a minute and answer our question for a chance to win a fun, fabulous prize. We will be giving away 4 prizes in this session. So how many UFOs are you currently hiding in your sewing room? Less than 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and then My personal answer, I don't even want to talk about it. There's so many things. So we'll leave that up for just a moment and give everyone a chance to answer the question. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that has a lot of UFOs. Someday I'll get them all finished. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, it does take a little time to figure out how many there are. So we're going to move on to our next panelist, who brings exuberance and joy everywhere he goes. Rob Appell is here to share his newest Worlds line, the third in his Worlds installment, that are pseudo basics, but this time he kind of went for a more earthy approach rather than his usual brights. First, we're going to show you a short video of the collection, and then Rob can tell us all about the fabrics.
Oh my gosh, I'm sold on that already. Let's just move on next, please. Fantastic. That was beautiful. Thank you for the beautiful intro video. And before we get going too far, I see the little green box around me, which means everybody can see me and hear me okay. Fantastic. I want to make sure we're not telling any fibs here. I don't really consider myself to be a fabric designer like the rest of all of these folks that are bringing all this lovely stuff together. I am a quilt maker, and I've been making quilts for a long time, and I love making quilts, and I love making YouTube videos and sharing that passion and teaching on YouTube. So a few years ago, I realized that the best thing I could do was ride on Benartex's coattails and design something that I could have a little bit of flavor with, but would allow everybody out there to use as they see fit. So I really wanted to design kind of a line of basics in a way. And funny enough, if you really watch this develop, it's kind of like me developing a line of fabrics backwards. So I'm going to tell the story starting with New Worlds. There are actually 3 different fabric lines. You see them all though right here. There are only 27 geometric prints. There's a stripe in 2 colors. And of course, today you saw we have the new release of the beautiful mandalas in 2 colors. So that's really only 29 total prints over the 3 collections because I wanted to use their shadow blush as a foundation, which comes in about 100+ colors, and use stuff that we are already using that kind of worked as a stash builder, because when I'm doing a video on YouTube, I want you to be able to see the pattern in the blocks behind what I'm doing. So real quick, here's the story. Right now, you're going to see New Worlds, the first version, 9 colors, playing together nicely as geometrics with the shadow blush fabrics. And I apologize, the quilts are much bigger than my little space. And with geometrics fabrics, of course, you would want to make geometric looking quilts, right? So here was a tumbling blocks and strips. But again, if you look closely, it shares the shadow blush, their solids, and my prints. So they really read as a neutral or a tonal. So you can do so many different varieties of things with them. Okay. And then, but I don't want to say too much, but my fabrics are different. They're designed different because somehow I stumbled across this. They're not on a normal repeat. They're made so they work really wonderful for hexagonal design and fussy cutting for all you paper piecers out there. So like I said, geometric projects working together with geometric fabrics is exactly what you would think from this guy. But no, because I'm really an applique quilter, I wanted to do geometric fabrics, like I said, that would read in all fabrics or all quilts as simply color, simply print and design. So here's one of the first free patterns still available on Benartex's website. This is a Dazzling Dots, which is some patchwork and applique of the first 9 together, the New Worlds. Then we went into, of course, Newer Worlds. And then we had borrowed time because I borrowed Stephanie's time for creating the pattern. You knew I was going there, Stephanie. Again, another fun geometric. This uses Newer Worlds, the second 9 prints. And then there are 2 different also awesome 108 wide backs that kind of match the first and second lines. Then my good friend Charisma Horton did an incredible block of the month, which is still available to the retailers out there. And I did a whole series of videos, and this is called Epic. And I know it's giant, folks. It's 96 by 96, and you're just seeing a little bit of it. But this is all of the fabrics plus black and white playing together. But with all that energy, I felt like it was time to tone it down a little bit. I wanted to settle because I feel like a good palette has the resting place also. So as you see now, I've integrated the newest or the new 9 tone on tones or the new 9 geometrics. And that's what you're seeing here in the Offshore Breezes, which is a simpler, subtler version of a Storm at Sea. See, I'm trying, like I said, settle it all down, tone it all down for us all. And I don't dare show the back, but I did use this on the backing as well. And Andi, I'm going to have to exchange some phone numbers. My son's getting married in about 6 weeks, and I just bought a beautiful suit. And I'm thinking, wouldn't this be a fabulous tie to wear to the wedding? So can we exchange some contact and creative info? And maybe we could do something fantastic together. But if you haven't seen the videos I do for Stitch in Heaven on YouTube, folks, I have for about the last year straight been using all of these fabrics basically exclusively, and they have worked together in so many different styles of quilts, again, because I want you to be able to read them as a basic so that you can either think about using them as your stash or think about using them with your stash, or now I need to use them with some of those bug fabrics because I think the colors might just be perfect together. And so that's really what I wanted to do. So folks, no, I'm not a fabric designer. I'm a creative enabler, and I love making quilts, and I just feel so super blessed to get to continue working with these worlds of great people and these worlds of great fabrics. I can't say too much, but we may have one more installment still to come. And you'll just have to stay tuned with all the wonderful things we're doing here. And again, if you are a quilt shop owner out there that's watching today, don't forget us quilters. When we come into the shops, often we just need a little piece or something or whatever to help re-inspire the finishing of that quilt or re-inspire getting back into our sewing rooms or whatnot. So I just appreciate being considered, even if it's just on the color wall. I really think in a lot of ways that's where New Worlds through Newest Worlds belongs, as just as something that can really help inspire the other prints that are out there, whether it's in your stash or in your shops, to just keep people making quilts. So again, blessed to be here today, folks. Thank you very much for the time.
Thanks, Rob. And I have to say, I love all of your collections, but there's just something about Newest Worlds that really appeals to me, especially in that quilt behind you. It's beautiful. And that is a free pattern quilt, and Rob just sent it to me. So if it's not already up on our website, it will be very soon.
Yeah, can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny because you can see I wanted to go with the pastels when we were talking about Newest Worlds, but we were still missing black, and the gray for Newer Worlds did so well that we had to add in the black. And again, like I think all great art, contrast, juxtaposition. And so again, even though I'm calling it the pastel line, don't forget the black is a really cool tone on tone geometric that really chops up nice. So
oh yeah, it's fantastic. And
yeah.
that cocoa brown is
Okay.
absolutely beautiful.
Okay, I'll show them all if you want me to, but I mean, they're just, yeah, you got it.
Okay, now what about the teal? We got to see the teal.
I thought you were going to ask me my favorite, which is this one right here. It almost looks like snowflakes, I think, in a way too. But it was like outer space. Okay, I won't show them all. That's not fair. Other people should get a turn. We'll make everyone go to the website or just buy the dang collection and bring it into all your local quilt shops. That's the easiest way. We're touchy-feely. You don't want to look at it here. Go to a shop and get it.
Absolutely. All right, and for our final presentation in this session, we have designer Shelley Cavanna to share her Seaside Garden collection, full of dramatic florals and subtle textures in a sea glass inspired palette. Unfortunately, Shelley couldn't be here with us live today, but she sent in a video for you to enjoy.
I'm Shelley Cavanna of Cora's Quilts. I'm a fabric, quilt pattern, and cross-stitch pattern designer from Northern California, and I write quilting books like the Barn Star Sampler and the Flower Farm Sampler. I am so excited to share with you my brand new fabric collection with Benartex called Seaside Garden. It's shipping to stores in the fall of 2025. Inspired by the enchanting cottage gardens of Carmel by the Sea, Seaside Garden marries bold and dramatic florals, delicate textural blenders, and a subtle stitched pattern, all against a serene palette of sea glass gathered along California's coastal shores. Prints in misty lavender, rich bottle green, deep cobalt blue, and a tranquil sky blue all weave together the wild beauty of cottage gardens with the timeless allure of the sea, creating a collection that speaks to both traditional quilters and modern makers alike. Cottage Garden, our focal print, captures the lush, overflowing gardens you'll find while walking through downtown Carmel. With its crisp white background, Asters is a mid-size floral print that adds a fresh and airy feeling to the collection. Beachcomber brings a denser arrangement of small and medium flowers, like the clusters of wildflowers found along the coastal paths. Wild Strawberries is a delicate floral pattern featuring white blooms scattered across a textured background. It's the perfect print for adding depth to your projects without overwhelming the other floral prints. Heather is my modern take on the classic ditzy floral, with tiny blooms scattered across a white background in the signature coastal colors. Foliage brings a gentle, organic texture to the collection. With its delicately stitched motifs, it's perfect for adding subtle interest to your projects. Final textural print provides a clean, architectural contrast to the softer florals in the rest of the collection, with its flowing lines that mimic wrought iron garden gates. The 108-inch wide Seaside Garden print is a supersized version of the collection's focal print. We've scaled the print up to make it perfect not only for quilt backs, but also to add gorgeous, high-impact floral borders to your quilt tops. I am so excited to have published a brand new book this spring called Flower Farm Sampler. This book features 18 floral quilt blocks ranging in size from 4 inches to 24 inches and features 7 flower-filled quilts that are just perfect to show off these Seaside Garden prints. You can find these 4 quilt projects in the book, and we've also published a free downloadable guide on our website showing you how we used each print in each project. Earlier this year, we completed the Meadowsweet quilt as our annual Mystery Quilt Along project. We're happy to now officially offer the pattern for the very first time in printed format, featuring our Seaside Garden prints. By now, you probably know how much I love my sampler quilts and my Block of the Month projects. I'm pleased to share with you that our popular Liberty Bell quilt pattern is now available as a 12-month Block of the Month project. And the best part? This quilt is made using only squares and rectangles, so there's no templates, bias edges or Y seams in sight. If you're looking to try out our stitch and flip Lone Star techniques, but on a much smaller scale, then you'll love the Baby Star quilt from my Spectacular Stars Simplified book. Just like Liberty Bell, this quilt, and really all of the quilts in this book, are made using only squares and rectangles. So if you can stitch on a marked line, then you can make any of these quilts with ease. Our final project is a brand new 12-month Block of the Month project we've called the Sea Glass Cottage Sampler. For fans of our Barn Star and Flower Farm sampler books, this is the perfect quilt to continue the adventure, filled with starry blocks, delicate flowers, and little touches of hand stitching goodness. And speaking of hand stitching, Sea Glass Cottage, Liberty Bell, and Meadow Suite will also be available as cross-stitch projects as well. Each project is under 200 by 200 stitches and feature DMC threads we've hand-matched to the prints in this collection. I know that there is so much information packed into this short video, so if you're hoping to come back and take a closer look at any of the projects or the patterns, you can find them all along with the collections lookbook on the Cora's Quilts website. I hope you've loved the prints, the quilts, and the cross-stitch projects that make up our new Seaside Garden collection. Please ask for them at your favorite quilt shop or visit the Cora's Quilts website to find out more.
Some of you posted questions, so I'm going to go ahead and read those and we'll have our designers answer them. Let's start with, do we sell any fabrics for sewing shirts? We do. In fact, Rob, I know, has made a shirt. Andi has made a shirt. You can absolutely make shirts out of any of our quilters' cottons. We also have just started with some lawn fabrics. We have 2 collections in lawn from our spring lines that you can find on our website. So yes, there are definitely fabrics for sewing shirts. Rob, you don't have your shirt with you today, do you?
They're upstairs. I actually made one from each of the lines. And if those of you are remembering, the first shirt collar was pretty bad. The second shirt collar was terrible. So I didn't want to take the gamble on number 3. So I bought a solid shirt. Like some guys got to learn their lessons. But while I have the microphone, I noticed in the comments, somebody said they thought the fabrics would be wonderful for shoes. You are correct. Remember, we had these ones done from New World. So anyway,
yes,
yes, I love making shirts, and I will definitely, and I'll send you those scraps, Andi, once I get my shirt made from this. And I will not wear the shirt and the tie at the same time, but definitely would like to make myself a shirt out of this one as well.
Very cool. And Andi, do you have any tips for shirt making, and skirt making as well with the quilters cotton?
My tip would be making it just a little bit bigger in case it shrinks. I don't pre-wash my fabric, so I make it just a touch bigger. And I did make a men's tailored shirt, not a Hawaiian shirt. I made a Hawaiian shirt too, and that was my first tailored shirt, and it turned out beautifully with the Benartex fabric. That was my fishing line that I did that.
I remember that shirt.
Yeah, it turned out really great. And that one was fine for him. He still wears it today. I made it for my son. And so for my skirts and for this shirt, I thought I should have made it just a touch bigger in case it shrinks a little bit when I wash it.
Okay, thank you so much. Irene, is the Quilt Along available through YouTube? We have someone that's not on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's not a Instagram Quilt Along, so all of the information will be sent through my mailing list. So if you want to quilt along, then you can follow my mailing list. And if you want to sign up for that, you can go to sugaridoo.com and just scroll down a little bit, and then you find the sign up for that. So that is also where I will announce it next to Instagram, of course. And if there will be YouTube videos, all the links for those things will be in the emails.
Great, thank you so much. And then someone asked about, oh, Rob, where do you get your inspiration in creating your fabrics?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so just inspiration in creating the fabrics. Stephanie, do we tell them our secret? I mean, I don't know if they should know this or not, but it's probably not obvious, but I have a hard time holding still. So I actually tattoo as another side hustle and profession. And in our tattooing world, there's a software that allows us to draw in more mandala style format. So a lot of these designs are me doodling, but as I doodle, I can see the first and the secondary design repeats coming together. And so it gives me the opportunity to place a line and then delete it or build onto it while I'm going. And so when we sat down at the table, the Benartex team and myself, I think I had 140 different tiles that I was called a sheet of paper, a tile, and they were organized into like 6 different subgroupings: florals, ocean, nautical, outer space. So this one was one of those outer space. We call it astral because it looked like kind of cool, like Sputnik satellite or something out there. Like I said, I can't hold still. So I've been sitting here while watching everybody just doodling away the whole time. So that's my best answer for the collection of New Worlds. It's been a calming exercise for me. Probably not so calming for the Benartex team because we had to try to choose, a few different designs out of 140. So we have more to come, maybe.
Okay. Okay, the next question, Andi, what is the name of the waterproofing jar that you had? Oh, you're on mute.
Octoot. Octoot.
Okay.
See it there? And I've used it before I made outdoor flags. So you would have to pre-treat your fabric before you sew it, I think, because it would be hard to do with the bag being 3D. But it does waterproof things.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Penelope asked about collections being in extra wide, 108-inch wide backing. We do carry a lot of 108-inch wide backing. I know the polka dots from Rob's collection are 108-inch wide. Shelley's collection does have a few 108-inch wide SKUs. You can see all of our 108-inch wide backing fabric on our website. And let's see. Andi, do you know the name of the pattern that you used for the shirt?
I have not for the dress shirt, but I know it was McCall's or Simplicity.
Okay.
And then my Hawaiian shirt pattern was right here, but I don't know if that's a McCall's, I think. I can look for it, but I'll type it in the comments.
Okay, great. Donna asked, will we be able to view videos of the session? Absolutely. We will put these sessions up once we get through all 3 of our sessions, the next one today and the one tomorrow. Those will be available for you to watch again, and you'll get them through an email for those of you that are registered. When does Perfect Brew come out in quilt shops, Andi?
I thought that was getting delivered soon.
I believe so.
Because I got that fabric before I got Enchanted Spring.
Yes, let's check August. That'll start shipping to stores in August. Thank you to my behind the scenes team for that answer. I appreciate it.
And my McCall's pattern, the Hawaiian shirt, was 7206.
Okay,
but I don't know the dress shirt pattern.
Okay.
Well, see, mine was 2205. That's what I was doing wrong.
There you go.
Collar, don't anybody use the collar layout on 2205. It couldn't be me. It's got to be the collar layout on the pattern.
It's always the pattern, right, Rob?
Always the pattern.
All right, let's see if I have any other questions that we haven't. Let's see, we answered that one, answered that one. We've put a list of our panelist websites so that you can go visit all of them: Sugaridoo, Rob Appell, Andi Metz, and Cora's Quilts in the chat. Let's see, are there any other questions? Please remember, if you're looking to ask a question, put it in the Q&A box, because there are quite a few messages in the chat and it's hard to keep track of all of them. So I have a question for everyone. I am a snacker when I'm in my studio. So I want to know from Irene and from Rob and from Andi, do you guys have a favorite snack when you're in your studios? Irene?
Ooh, well, let's see, snack. Well, I think chocolate. I think just chocolate, and especially chocolate where there's some nuts and some raisins in there. I think that's my favorite. And when I try to be good, then it will be blueberries or some kind of fruit. But besides from that, it's just chocolate.
Okay. And Rob, what about you?
Well, see, I was gonna go on Irene's snack because that is not an untrue statement. A lot of times with that third coffee, it's a bowl of nuts, maybe some cranberries, and of course some chocolate chips in there because that just makes it all smooth. But I looked across the room and I realized, yes, about a year ago, I started a new obsession accidentally with the Dad's root beer barrels, the hard candy from our grandfather's pockets. And this is a winner, folks. I mean, so I now buy them off of Amazon online by the pound because it's the only place you can get them fresh like this. And they're the little root beer tasting, and I pop one in my mouth and I don't chew on it. It's a hard candy. So it'll last me, golly, like you could cut 120 half square triangles at least with one of these. But now I got to be quiet for the rest of the day.
And how about you, Andi? Do you have a favorite snack?
Mine is the cookies, anything chocolate. So today I have cookies. Sometimes I have, my grocery store has a more natural M&M that I will sometimes eat, but a lot of times I'm so busy, like I'm so focused on getting the project done that I don't stop, and I might be up till 2 a.m. and then I'll snack, but it's after everything's done.
We didn't get to inventory that basket of cookies before the show starts, but I'm pretty sure there's already 2 more missing in the last hour.
My screen went black, and that's when I had a cookie, and then I turned it back on.
Comes back, she's got a little bit of crumbs in either corner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you all for answering that question. We had a couple more pop up. Describe lawn fabric. So lawn fabric is a cotton fabric. It is made with a slightly tighter weave than a traditional quilter's cotton, but it's also made with a finer thread. So it has a wonderful, beautiful drape, and it's amazing for apparel, shirts, blouses, dresses. It's almost like a batiste. So it's really great to work with. And we've just started with a few lawn collections.
Stephanie, is that what the apron is?
No, the apron is actually more of a canvas fabric.
Okay.
It's a heavier fabric, whereas lawn is a very silky, soft fabric that has a beautiful drape to it.
Okay.
Jan asked about our fabric collections and if any of them sunset, or are there any that are permanent. Benartex does reprint fabrics. So as shops order it, and we find that we're running low in our warehouse, we will have reprints done. But yes, at some point, some of our fabrics do go out of stock. But it's usually, we do keep a fairly long shelf life on all of our collections. and are any permanent. Our basics collections we keep in stock, and those are our evergreen collections. Where is Andi's shop? Andi, you don't really have a shop, but where are you located again?
I'm in Pennsylvania, so my local shop is Burn Sewing.
All right. And what plain fabric will go with Andi's latte swirl patterns? I think the shadow blush looks really nice with your basics, as a basics collection with the perfect brew. Don't you think so, Andi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, someone wants to know, Rob, what's the tattoo drawing app called?
Oh, it's Geometrica, and it's featured on iPads so that you can draw right on it. It's pretty neat. It's not cheap, but it's really cool. It's worth it.
All right. Oh, and
There goes
Irene.
my job.
Oh no. Irene, somebody wants to see your kitty.
Oh, he just walked outside. Jimmy,
Oh no.
Mama.
Hopefully we
he's
can
coming.
get him back.
Jimmy, come here. Come on. He's a really good boy. There he is. That's him. He's a big one, and he's really, really cute.
Thank you.
Oh, and I forgot to mention about my collection that when it's going to be shipped out. So that will be end of August, beginning of September.
So not very far away.
No, not soon. Yes.
Awesome. And then someone asked, is there a video of the manufacturing of the fabric lines? There isn't, but that's a really fantastic idea, and I'm going to file that away for something for us to do in the future, maybe. So, let's see. I'm just looking to see if there's any other questions. Oh, somebody said definitely not Cheetos when you're quilting. Absolutely not Cheetos when you're quilting, because then your fingers turn orange and then you end up with orange fabric, right? All right. So yeah, I think that's about all the questions we have for today. So I'm going to find my winners, and we'll announce my winners. Scroll back up. Okay, so first off, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to our virtual fabric show. We hope you enjoyed seeing the fabrics and the projects and hearing from our talented designers. Be sure to ask at your local quilt shop about the collections that you fell in love with, and we can't wait to see what you will all create with them. I'd like to announce the winners of our giveaway for this session. Congratulations to Beverly Carnes, Barbara Seeger, Carol Delage, and Mark Bach. I hope I said your names correctly. The four of you are our winners for this session. So we will be reaching out to you to get your mailing addresses. And thank you again for coming. Our next session will start at 3:30. So I invite you all to please come back and watch our next session. And thank you again to all of our panelists that were here today. Rob, Andi, and Irene, thank you so much for coming. If you guys all want to give a quick goodbye, and then we'll play a video on the way out.
Okay, I'll start because I'm there's no gentleman here. Remember, everybody, be creative and support your local quilt shops.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Wonderful to be here.
It was great being here, and now I got to eat my cookies.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you at the next session.